Welcome to the Real Talk with Amethyst, where we bring you the best in music and entertainment. I'm your host, Amethyst, and today we have Dathan Thigpen in the building. Someone whose voice and energy is well known.
Hey.
So let me tell you a little bit about Dathan. He's a Sunday's Best All-Star champion, a powerhouse artist who brings the spirit every time he steps on stage. But that is not all. He also made his mark on the big screen and stage, appearing in hit projects like King the Business, A Gospel Christmas, The Have-Nots, Medea's Neighbors from Hell, and even the comedy blockbuster Scary Movie 5 alongside the late Angie Stone. So today we'll be diving into his music and, of course, getting the inside scoop on what really went down behind the scenes. So without further ado, help me welcome the one and only Dathan Thigpen.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, you are currently a part of Jakarius Johnson's Jason Lyric Live. Tell me about the character that you play and how did you land your role?
Okay, so Jason's Lyric is a popular cult classic, 30 years old. I remember, as a teenager watching it. Mm-hmm. But in the film, there's a street preacher. And in between scenes, he's like spitting out, you got this, you got that, and between the scenes. And so they created this character, the street preacher, who really is kind of like the narrator throughout the entire show, and that's my character. Mm-hmm. And I hooked up with Jakarius Johnson through a project. He did a concert with Sunday Best Winners at Christmas time in Houston. He's from Houston. And from there, someone put a bug in his ear. Oh, I think he acts. And he was like, oh no, he don't look like he acts. I don't know what that means. But anyway, gave me a shot, and we did Rick James live tour last year, and I played Barry Gordy. And he was like, oh, you can act. So he already knew I could sing. And so now I guess I'm part of the Jakarius Johnson family, and so I've done New Jack right after that, New Jack City, and then now we're doing Jason's Lyric.
Great. How did you come up with Vocal Vibe?
So Vocal Vibe was a thing. So I'm an artist as well. I do gospel music for the most part, but and I was part of the church, the whole 9 yards. My dad was a pastor. I'm a worship leader, the whole 9 yards. So choir training and vocal training is something I just naturally did. My mom was a choir director of a well-renowned choir called the Mystic Mass Choir, which has been traveling for 30-something years. So my dad, got a degree in music at school at Jackson State University, and so he's trained choirs, he's music directors at churches. So that's kind of my history. They had 5 boys, and I was a singer, and the rest of them were musicians. And so I learned how to vocal train, and something I naturally always knew how to do. So I had a friend who had an event, and she said, hey, because I had been working with this group who's now been on the R&B charts for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They're Siren, Candy Birds signed this group called Siren. And I've been working for them for a year just for their content. I was just teaching a cool arrangement of a song, and they just posted, and they were going viral, and the fans were getting to know them to prepare them for their single release. But anyway, so my friend who had this event, she's like, I want to get some singers together, and I want you to teach them a song, like you normally teach, do what you do. She brought me to do what I do. So I did, and it just went crazy viral. And so I was preparing for this tour, and so I couldn't continue to do it with her. So I was coming on the road. So I just remember God downloading an idea to do it while I'm out here and to promote some things that I was doing musically. I said, it makes sense. I'm out. I don't have to stop doing it because I begin to get in that zone. And so while I'm out, I pick certain dates while I'm out to do it in the different locations, and it's just kind of been blown up on its own. So it's really cool. I have one coming up soon in my hometown, and it's just kind of doing its thing. So I'm just kind of seeing where it lands, but I'm really excited about it.
What was it like working on Scary Movie 5 with the Wayans brothers? Were there any hilarious behind the scenes moments that did not make the final cut?
So, well, yes, but this was actually the franchise. The Wayans brothers actually were not a part of that. This is what made it interesting. It was a taboo. People didn't want to talk about it, but in this scenario, it wasn't as good as the rest of the one. It didn't do well at all. But a lot of people think because the weigh-ins wasn't a part of it, it's probably why. But anyway, I was actually called, very funny because people always say I look like Kevin Hart, and I do not agree. But I was called to be his...
Not look like, but I can hear the similarities in the voice.
Which is crazy. But I was called to be stand-in. But the crazy thing, so they hired me to be his stand-in. So what essentially what that is for me is like every scene, he's like a lot of A-list celebrities like him, you'll see him in the main scenes, but if there's scenes where he's just in the background, he don't have to be there, so they use me. Well, it's supposed to be him, but you look real close, you're like, wait a minute, that ain't Kevin Hart, that's Dathan. Well, anyway, that's what I was hired to do. But crazy enough, I don't know who was overproduction for real, they hadn't even casted him yet. It was just an idea. So they hired me, they haven't even officially casted him yet. Come to find out, it didn't work out. I think he ended up going with Cat Williams or somebody else. Like, I'm just there, hired. They still paying me to be there. So I'm just there at this point. So speaking of scenes cut out, yeah, my whole existence was cut out. But since I was there, they threw me in some scene, like the scene where you had Angie Stone. Then I was in a tux and on the road, sitting there, watching what was happening on the stage, and so. Getting to meet Angie Stone, that was the first time, that was my second time meeting her, and just knowing how much of a light she was to the world. And it really sucks when people die. Then everybody wants to give you your flowers. Then she was one of those unsung heroes that should have gotten all that she's getting now that she's gone while she was here. I mean, even me, I gave her a tribute from a Vocal Vibe while she was, gone. I remember somebody made a comment like, it would have been nice if you'd done this tribute when she was alive, and I totally agree. And so I would, even with Vocal Vibe, make it my business to begin to tribute people while they are here and give them their flowers while they're here, so they can see it. Not saying they won't in the afterlife, I don't know how that works. I haven't been over there yet. But indeed, it was a great experience, although I didn't share because, once again, it was not one of the franchise's best movies, so I didn't share with a lot of people, and it was very, and I come from a very conservative background, so I didn't share with my family. I don't know if y'all want to watch it. But it was a great experience for me as an actor, and that was several years ago. But yeah, it was a great experience.
Your music blends contemporary gospel with powerful worship. How do you balance innovation with staying true to the gospel's core message? Yeah,
so what I'm doing now, I never thought that I'll be just, I've sang with Sunday Service Choir with Kanye. And so what we would do with Sunday Service Choir, we'll flip songs and then change them to like Christian lyrics. But what I'm doing, I'm not changing any lyrics. I'm just picking songs that I like or that have a good message, or that's very arrangeable, and coming up with cool arrangement. But it's interesting because it's in the setup of what I was trained in the church. So it's, my training in the church is being brought to the pop world. Like, for instance, we did Human Nature by Michael Jackson, and it just kind of went super viral. And now we're doing something with the song. I don't know, I just did what I just knew naturally to a song that's in a pop arena, and we just created this really cool moment that's kind of people like to see. And so it's reimagining these songs with what I've learned in the church and bringing to there. So, but the cool thing about what I get to do with Vocal Vibe is I don't shy away from, what I believe in. I believe in God, I believe in Jesus as my Savior, and I have a strong, firm belief in that, and I don't mind sharing that. Even when I go, like, I went to LA, and then at the end I just talk about what I believe the Lord has given me as a gift, and I use this gift to share with the world. But to me, I didn't wake up with this gift. God gave me this gift, and so it's my job to really show the world that all that we do, it comes from Him. We're just conduits, but it's through Him. And so I share that, and I still get to share the gospel. I get to share my, what I believe, whether people receive it or not. But I get to share that, and I think it's a powerful moment. That's why it was important for me to do Vocal Vibe, because I can do it on my own terms, where I can, share my gift, but I also can share the gospel, which is very important to me. Sharing the gospel, because it's kind of like having a great restaurant. Jamal yesterday shared a restaurant with me, and I enjoyed it, and it was very good. So when you have something good, like or a good, store, clothing store you like, if you like something you want to share, that's how it is with me. Jesus has changed my life, and because how impactful that was to me, I'm not gonna go around you and just like not share this. If I share a good restaurant with you, I can share, where you can get some good shoes, but surely I can share about the man who changed my life. So that's kind of what that looks like, and that's kind of why it doesn't take away that I don't just sing gospel in some of these settings. And I will, depending on which setting it is, but just because I don't sing the gospel doesn't mean I'm not sharing the gospel.
Right.
Yeah.
So can you share a defining moment in your music?
Honestly now, I think it was when Viola Davis shared my arrangement of Human Nature. And not just that, one moment, but several moments around that arrangement. It was a defining moment in my career that says, you know what? Because I was brought up in church, so my dad was pastor, my mom was first lady, my mom was choir director. So me learning those things, I began to do those things. But to be honest, in the black church, a black male choir director was a stigma behind it, And so me growing up, just enjoying it, but then growing up realizing that's a stigma, I kind of shied away from it because I didn't want that stigma. I just wanted to enjoy it because I was good at it and I did it, and that's kind of how I was brought up. So because of that, it's almost like I did it behind closed doors. Like when I worked with Siren, no one knew. Candy knew, and the team knew, but no one knew. I mean, they tagged me in posts, but I could have did their nails. Nobody know what I did. But I was the arranger. But it wasn't until I did this other event where they blasted my name and said, Dathan arranged this, and I started to see people appreciate it. And then Viola Davis posted it, and she tagged Dathan as the arranger. It made me know there is value in what you do. You don't have to hide. You know how you that meme where Homer Simpson is hiding in the bush. You don't have to hide your gift. If God gave it to you, use that gift. I don't care what people think about it. God gave you that gift. Use that gift and share it with the world. And so that for me was a defining moment because it just goes to show me any gift that God has given me, I should not be ashamed of. Right. He gave it to me, show the world, because that's why He gave it to me. So to me, which is actually very recent in my 40-something years of living, that has been the most defining moment in my music career.
Gospel is deeply rooted in storytelling. What personal testimony or life experience has shaped the way you create your music?
Well, I've been brought up, like I said, I've been brought up in church all my life, but it wasn't until I became an adult that I had to experience life on my own. And some of the things I learned in church were just not true. Some of the traditions that I learned were just not right. And so I had to unpack all of the traditions that I learned that wasn't right, and make sure I didn't get rid of the traditions that were right. But as an adult, I am still figuring that out and leaning into that. But for me, that is very important. And I don't want to miss the question. Could you rephrase the question one more time for me?
Yes, I said that gospel is deeply rooted in storytelling. What personal testimony or life experience shapes your music? Yes.
So with that being said, truth, gospel for me and storytelling is about truth. And so to me, finding what truth is and then what it means to me. So once I began to get a personal relationship with Jesus, then it was different. Now my mom would tell me, go to church and put on your suit and, this is what we do. That's one thing. But it wasn't until I was like, okay, well, let me see if this works for me. And when I figured that out and I began to seek Jesus for myself and I began to read the word for myself, not just read it, because I've read the Bible maybe 4 times now. I just finished and I'm starting to make over. Because my sons, I read it and I told my sons, I was like, I finished the Bible. They was like, yeah. They're like, what now? I'm like, we do it again. What do you mean? Because to me, there's always new revelation each time you read it. So, but for me now, I'm uncovering the truth for myself. And so now, it's different. I remember being brought up in church and you hear a hymn. It's this old song. And as a kid, man, you're singing a hymn. We want to sing the cool song, the fun song. But now as an adult, when I hear a hymn, it's different because life experience and the stories that were were brought out when that person wrote that song. Now as an adult, when we listen to music, it's different. Now, when as a kid, I don't care what kind of music it is. Like, when it's love song, it means something. When you live life, it means something different. And that's kind of with the gospel and gospel music, where now my life experiences can be spoken through music, and I could tell my story through the music, and I could not only just sing it, but now if I talk about Jesus being real, well, I sang a song as a kid. No, that, Jesus is a fun song. But if I sing it now, if I experience loss, and Jesus helped me get through that, or if I seek Him and I found Him, I know for myself He's real. I don't have to talk about something my mama told me. That's something. So now when I sing a song, it comes from a truth that's embedded deep within experience, not just a story I read in the Bible.
Winning Sunday's Best is a huge milestone. What was the biggest lesson you took from that experience?
Biggest lesson from Sunday Best, and I did it twice. So I did it in 2010, and I made like top 6, top 7, because they eliminated 2 people at the same time, and then it went to 5. So I always tell the person who got eliminated with me, I was sick, you was there. but that's as far as I made it. Leandria Johnson, my friend, won that season. But then they had the All-Star season where they had favorites from each season competing against each other. And that's the one I won. The biggest lesson I learned from Sunday Best was actually in 2010, was when I wasn't sure about my gift. You know, I was 30 years old, fresh, freshly married, had a baby on the way. He's 13 now, and I got another one. He's 14 now, I got a 13 now. But I wasn't sure of my gift. I think, church people, they're the nicest people in the world sometimes. So, if I sounded a man, they wouldn't tell me probably. But, so if they tell me, oh, we love you, you great every Sunday, I'm like, that doesn't hold much weight. But when my mentors, or people like Kirk Franklin, or people like Donnie McClurkin, or people like Mary are saying, we love you and you're great, and I look up to them, it changed my perception. Like, whoa, like all the things I thought, all the negative things I thought about my voice, myself in my head, like it doesn't matter, because there's something that I bring that no one else can bring. Now, I can compare myself, I say, I can't dress like her, she cold, you know what I'm saying? And I can be like, oh man, mine ain't as good as yours. And so if I'm pitting myself against you, then I thought I did good today, but I'll sit back next to you and you clean. I might be like, well, maybe I didn't do that good. No, I have to be confident when I did that. I said, no, I'm still, she's not. I ain't gonna lie. But I did good today too. And so that's kind of what your gift was singing. Like, and I learned it on Sunday Best. It's like, what I bring is special. And it may not be like that person, and I actually like what that person is doing, but it's okay to me. And it wasn't until I got validated from my heroes in my own genre that I realized, what, I'm good enough. What I bring today was good enough. It's unique in itself, and so that was value that I began to own, like my voice. Because some people, the very thing that you don't like about your voice could be what somebody else actually likes. Sometimes the very thing you don't like about your appearance sometimes could be the very thing somebody likes. You know what I'm saying? Not to get vulgar, but black people, are hippie, and so women like, well, the man that got up and love it, So don't knock it, you know what I'm saying? So some of the things, like I said, some things I thought I didn't like about myself. It wasn't until I got the validation, I saw the people loved it. I was, you know what, I'm okay in my own skin. So I learned that lesson on Sunday Best. Yeah.
Many artists struggle with industry expectations versus personal artistic vision. How do you do this differently?
No, you're great. These are great questions. And that, to this day, people struggle with that. And there are expectations. And that we try to measure up to. Like, we try to say, well, what's the industry want? And you try to become that. But now, you're leaving who you are to try to become something that you think the industry wants you to be. And that's what it's hard to see. I see these girls, man, very talented. I think about people like Chloe Bailey, and like very talented, but I see them doing industry standard things. I think you know what I'm talking about.
I know. Exactly.
That I don't feel like they have to do because they're talented enough, but they feel like this is what the industry wants more, so let me do that. And to me, it diminishes their gift, and it makes you focus on the wrong thing when their gift is good enough. She's super, she can act her butt off, she's beautiful, she can sing. That's all she needs. And so for me, I have to make sure I'm not leading into what I feel like what the industry wants me to be and wants me to do, and stay true to who I am, because that's what makes me unique. Because if I go to the industry standard, then everybody's gonna look the same.
Right.
And what's funny is industry standards start with from somebody who's been unique, and everybody's trying to be like them. That's usually how it starts. So if you want to be a one of one and be a trendsetter, be who you are first, and allow the industry to catch you with who you are.
So in times of doubt or challenge, what personal mantra keeps you grounded?
Well, a lot of it is built on spiritual foundations for me, and right now I'm going through a lot of transitions in my career. A lot of great big things are happening, and what keeps me grounded is every morning I have a meeting. Everyone, you know how big corporations have big meetings. I have a meeting every morning, but this meeting with God, and for me, Jesus is the mediator of this meeting. So all things I got questions about, all things I need to know for the day, everything I'm trying to figure out as relates to career, I'm in the Word of God. I'm having this meeting, and I got a notepad, and I'm writing down. Everything that stands out. I pray when I read. I say, Lord, show me exactly what you need me to see in this. That's why I said reading the Bible. That's going to continue to happen, because I can read the same scripture tomorrow, and the meaning I get out of tomorrow based on what I'm doing tomorrow may be totally different from what it is today. So there is no Jamal told me he read the Bible like 10 times. There ain't no I did it. You're a book reader too. So, and my ex-wife, one of her favorite books, she reads it she's read it like 7-8 times. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, the Bible's a little different because it's more instructional. It's life instructions. And so, because of this meeting I have every morning, I had it this morning, by the way, I'm writing down, it's like, Lord, because these are instructions on what to do. And for me, it's like the manufacturer. Like if you want to know how something works, you see that phone or this camera or this phone. Like if you want to know how something works, you go to the manufacturer, right? And so many times and I love ChatGPT because it's ChatGPT and AI. It's kind of cool how you put in stuff. I was watching a video. Something says, "How can we destroy America? If I want to destroy America, how can I destroy America? And ChatGPT just kind of laid out low-key what's happening right now. So that's kind of dope. But at the end of the day, if you want to know what's like Amethyst or Dathan, Lord, how am I impacting the world? What am I doing? What do I need to do today in my career that's going to be impactful? But I need to get that from the manufacturer. He won't make me, so he's going to show me. ChatGPT can be kind of cool, but ultimately, if I really want to know, I need to go to him. So every morning, I go to him, and I'm and with a note this is a real meeting, and I'm writing down. And I'm figuring, and so I have challenges in the day, and I don't know what to do because I had a meeting about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I've shaped my career and moved, and that's kind of helped me to really progress and figure out life every day.
Sounds good. Has there ever been a moment where you felt walking away from music? If so, why? And if you could collaborate with any other artists, who would it be?
So, no. I think in college, I got a degree. I went to Jackson State University. I got a degree in broadcast production. And I always wanted to do film. And I think doors are opening finally for that to happen. But I would say I walked away, but people expect me to get a music major and all that. I was like, no. Do something else. I knew in the back of my head I would never walk away from music, but in a sense, it was almost like I'm gonna do something else right now. But that was in college. I can't. It's in my DNA. I can't even try. People say, you sing all the time. I'm like, no, I don't. And I be humming. 5 minutes later, I was like, oh, okay, I get you right. So I can't. No. So the real answer is no. I've never walked away. I don't think I ever will. I can't. But I think in college there was a moment where I kind of had a rebellious thing about me, and I got a degree in broadcast production. I got a degree in PR. I got a minor in music, but here I am right back in music. So I can't get away from that. And who I want to work with, I remember. So that's a hard one because it has changed. In gospel, there's been several people that I want to work with, and I have in some type of capacity. And so now that it's happened, it's like, well, now, I don't know. And a lot of my other heroes are now dead, like a Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. For instance, Beyonce will be somebody, but I've done Black is King. I sang in the choir with Beyonce on Black is King. So it's like, really, I've had really moments. So I'm gonna have to come back with you. The next time we interview, I have to answer that one.
Okay.
That's still a question mark. I have no idea who I want to work with right now. Maybe that's a good problem to have. I don't know.
Okay. What's next for you? Are there any projects, collaborations, or ventures that we should be on the lookout for?
So what's happening with Vocal Vibe, because it's really sparking the interest of different people, I want to lean into what it looks like, maybe a project with this type of music that we're doing. So don't be surprised if you see me announce that I'm going to do a project, these pop songs and reimagined songs. But it looks like that's on the horizon, yes.
If we took a peek at your playlist right now, what's one song people would be surprised to find?
Fantasia, Lose the Wind. Very random, and I've never been like a Fantasia fan, but it's been on repeat. I don't know why, maybe it's the message behind the song. I just had a recent moment where I had a really close friend, kind of like, I didn't understand it, but I think the song is speaking to me, and that sometimes because I have true connection with people. If we connect, I just mentioned him. I just feel like it's my brother now. I don't even know why, but that's just how I am. I connect with people, and you give me as a friend, you got a friend for life, right? So when that's different than what I saw in my head, that hurts. But I do feel like sometimes because of that connection, there are people who may not need to be in my life. That because I vow I'm gonna be your friend forever, and maybe the Lord has said, no, they don't need to be your friend forever. It maybe takes them leaving for me to realize I needed to lose that to win in this area of my life. So, but yeah, shockingly, and some of my friends would be like, what? It's like, sorry, she's singing on it, and she's a powerful singer. So. Right now, that's on my playlist. I listened to it last night. So, Lose the Wind by Fantasia. It's an old song, too, so it's great.
So, what's one expected talent that people wouldn't expect you to have?
I still, even as a 44-year-old man, can do a backflip. I'm going to feel every moment of it at this point, but I can still go out there and do a backflip. So there you go.
So now it's time for what I call the flip the script segment, where you have the opportunity to ask me a question.
Cool. Okay, so in this interview, what were you shocked to hear that I said?
That you could do a backflip.
Just kidding.
As long as you don't make me go out there and do it, we gonna be good. But no, but yeah, that's the only thing I would ask you, or anything in this thing. Like, what did you learn that you never would have guessed? Other than that.
That you are actually comical. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it's the Kevin Hart look-alike.
Maybe so.
But not for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I would like to thank you for being a guest on my show tonight.
Thank you.
I mean, not tonight. I'm sorry. This morning.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we got up early this morning. Thank you for having me. And I do think this is a divine connection through Jamal and me being able to be on your show. Who knows? Maybe we get to come back and see what we talked about and what's new on the horizon. But
yeah,
much success to your show. And thanks for having me.
Thank you.
I want to shout out, Amethyst has her magazine. She got the new one coming out. She already told me. She told me the inside scoop, so I'm telling y'all. So be prepared, because the new edition she's already working out. She's working it out, and she'll get it out to you. But make sure you support the TRT magazine. Shout out.